that time of month again, Vince.
It sure is, Dave.
And what do we do in October, Vince?
We do
So all month long, we are going to be giving you nothing but horror movie reviews.
From Blu-rays to new movies to whatever we come across that's horror related, you'll see it here.
And a few weeks ago, we did a Wes Craven tribute for all of his films, and it was a lot of fun. And I actually learned quite a lot of stuff. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch it, because I think it actually turned out pretty good.
Yeah, I liked it.
Since we did the tribute, we decided, okay, horror month, we're going to go ahead and actually review some of Wes Craven's films, starting with, of course, Scream! Now, what this is a 5-film box set. Actually, it only has 3 movies in it and 2 extra discs, so it's not even 5 films, which is stupid to start with, putting that on the case.
Yeah, well, I think the 2 bonus discs, I think they're done like documentaries. I don't know, because we haven't gotten to those yet.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, we're going to break up the reviews this month, so we're not just going to give you 4 straight Scream reviews. We're going to review all 4 films, but we're going to break them up with other things as well, so it doesn't get
monotonous.
All right, Vince, Scream. I haven't seen Scream in a long time, and so I was actually looking forward to watching it again, because I probably haven't seen it in 10 years. So going back and revisiting this film again, I mean, Vince, this was just so much fun. It was more fun than I ever remembered having watching this film.
It's done so well and so smart. It's so intelligent of a film.
And what's so great about it is it has humor in it, and you might be laughing one second and then just like jumping off the couch the next second.
Yeah, it's got a really decent cast. I wouldn't say there's any like Oscar-winning performances, but there's not a bad member of this cast whatsoever.
Dewey's character in this is just incredible. I mean, the guy that played him,
David Arquette.
David Arquette just nailed this role. I mean, this is such a likable character in this film, and he's like one of the best characters in the movie.
This one, especially this one, out of all the Scream films, this one has like the most memorable lines. And I don't know if it's necessarily all because of the writing, but you had such a great cast, they just delivered all those lines fantastically, and they're so memorable. I mean, anytime you talk about Scream, everybody remembers, it'll be a Scream, baby!
That actor was great. I don't know what his name was.
It's Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, he is just great in this movie. I mean, I don't think there's any dialogue that this guy says in a film that I was not just cracking up over. I mean, he was amazing in the movie.
So great. He, next to Dewey, I think he was one of my... Actually, I think he was my favorite character out of it. I liked Dewey. I liked Gale Weathers, Courtney Cox's character. I liked Neve Campbell's character. I liked them all. But Stu and Dewey are like the best in here.
And we cannot talk about Scream without, of course, that amazing beginning. Again, I think it's probably one of the greatest beginnings, not just to any horror movie, but just one of the greatest beginnings to any movie ever.
Well, the one thing I can say about the beginning is whenever I talk about Scream or I mention Scream, everybody remembers Drew Barrymore. That's like the first person they remember from Scream is Drew Barrymore. And it's really weird because she's only in the beginning.
Well, it's just like the Psycho beginning. I mean, everybody remembers the main character in Psycho, and she was, not really the main character in Psycho.
Right.
But the thing about the beginning of it is, like, when I went to see it originally, I had no idea they were going to kill her off in the beginning. I thought she was one of the stars of the movie. So when he's, like, chasing her, like, through the grass, and they do it in slow motion, and he just grabs hold of her and sticks a knife in her, I still get goosebumps thinking about that. It is just so phenomenal. And I'm just sitting there watching it with my jaw hanging open. I'm like...
I was actually amazed with this movie from the trailer. as soon as I saw the trailer and saw Wes Craven, and being a huge Nightmare on Elm Street fan, seeing Wes Craven do another film, I was like, yeah, I'm there. And one of the things I said in the tribute that we did for Wes Craven was that Wes Craven is sort of like the George Lucas of the horror genre. And Nightmare on Elm Street would really be his Star Wars. But Scream would definitely be his Indiana Jones.
The killer's costume was something that you could just go to any store and buy. I mean, I've seen the ghost-faced, mask all over the place, and it's really cheap. It was like 99 cents or $1 or something at, some cheap side store somewhere when Halloween came out. And then you see this in the movie, and you're like, wow, I mean, that's just something that anybody could go buy at the store. And that was really creepy, too. I think that was really increased the creep factor of the film.
I don't remember if I ever saw it before this movie, but I definitely saw it after. And I picked up one Halloween, and they were really cheap. It was I was surprised how cheap it was to get one. I think I paid a whole $4.99.
I actually have one right here, Vince. I never even opened it up. Bleeding Ghostface. Here you go. So even though all these movies are on this disc, and it's sort of a cheap box. I mean, I guess they're in there okay. As you can see, Scream 1, Scream 2, Scream 3, and then the bonus disc with the 2 movies on there. And I got it for like $11 at Target.
Mine was a little more. I had to order it for Amazon because I guess when Wes Craven died, everybody went out and bought Scream.
So the extras that the first movie has is we have a commentary with Wes Craven, and Kevin Williamson is the guy that wrote this brilliant script. Fun
to listen to Wes Craven talk about his experiences on this set and how he put things together, and they're sitting there actually watching the film, which is always a plus for me. For them to actually be sitting there watching the film and then not only commenting on the film, but telling you all the behind the scenes stuff and making it entertaining as well as educational.
To tell you the truth, I really enjoyed this commentary. It was really entertaining. I thought Wes Craven was really good in this commentary, and Kevin Williamson. He would go and tell you, well, this was an added scene, it wasn't in the movie, that Wes put in there, and he would talk about how it was changed from what he wrote to what he directed, and it was a really entertaining commentary. So next up, we have what is called a production featurette.
And this basically is exactly what that is. It's little interviews and on-set stuff that they filmed, and it was really done well. I liked it.
Yeah, it's just all this stuff is just way too short. I mean, each one of these is probably less than 5 minutes, each one of these extras on here.
Well, it's probably going to be a lot longer once we get to the bonus discs.
So next we have another extra called On the Scream Set. And this is actually split up into 2 extras, I believe, if I remember right. And it's sort of behind the scenes and like a Q&A with the cast.
Okay, so there's this thing with Drew Barrymore where it actually shows them filming the whole Drew Barrymore scene without necessarily talking in it. It's actually on set, and you're watching them film Drew Barrymore, and you watch them putting the makeup on her and just while they're filming, and her on set and everything that happened at that time. It's kind of cool, actually.
And then they have another one that's also in that Q&A, which is they're asking them what their favorite scary movie is. Now, when I was watching this, I was thinking to myself, I guess these people don't realize they're making a classic film here. I mean, there's going to be people now, they're going to say, hey, what's your favorite scary movie? And they're going to say Scream. So all these people that were making this movie didn't really realize they're making a classic horror film that's going to be in the same category that they're talking about.
But I think one of the best parts of it is that each one of those people that mentioned what their favorite scary film is, and each one of those people that mentioned in the Q&A their involvement with the movie, each and every one of them either worked on a horror film or was part of a horror film somewhere.
And then after that, you have your basic trailers and TV spot.
Yeah, which is pretty much explanatory. But I watched the theatrical trailers, and I hadn't ever seen, I have to say, I haven't ever seen the Red Band trailer for this. That was kind of interesting.
So a lot of horror films that have come out in the past really don't hold up. I mean, they really just don't hold up at all. But this one not only just held up, it's still as fun and as scary and as exciting as it was the day it was released.
It is one of my favorite horror films. The extras weren't bad. They're a little bit dated just because they came out when pretty much when the DVD came out. So overall, I would probably give it a 3 out of 5.
Now, if it was just the video extras, I would have given this a 2 out of 5. But the commentary was so good, it gets an extra 3 out of 5. So return, everybody. All month long, we are going to have so many horror movies, it's going to make your head spin off.
That's the idea.
And you know what, Vince?
What's that?
It's gonna be a scream, baby!
Live her alone.